fantasy baseball's hidden jewels. As the 2018 fantasy baseball season approaches, we take a look at the biggest news and storylines from each club. We'll feature one team each weekday. And we'll finish up on February 16th, the first day all teams will have their pitchers and catchers on the field for workouts. Series Index, schedule for all 2018 team previews. The Royals' glory days seem to have come and gone. But they'll always have memories of 2015. In the meantime, several stars from that championship squad have become free agents, and the 2018 Royals will struggle to replace the contributions of 1B Eric Hosmer, CF Lorenzo Cain, 3B Mike Moustakas and SP Jason Vargas. 2017 at a glance record, 80-82, third in AL Central hitting, 24th, 4.33 R/G pitching, 20th, 4.61 ERA park factor, scoring, 22nd, 0.926 park factor, HR, 27th, 0.809 arrivals RP. Wiley Peralta of Cody Ash. Can we skip this part? Unless the Royals make an uncharacteristically bold move in free agency, these minor moves will be extent of their off-season retooling. Peralta throws hard, but is entering his age 29 season and is no longer effective enough to be in a starting rotation. Ash, 27, is a DH-only minor league pickup who hit .105 with the White Sox last year. Players to watch: 2B Whit Merrifield, C. Salvador Perez, SP Danny Duffy. Merrifield was one of the biggest surprises of the 2017 season, spending the first month in the minors before becoming a fixture in the Royals lineup. He led the American League with 34 stolen bases and hit for more power than he'd ever shown in the minors, 19 HR. Is he another product of the fly ball revolution? It's possible, but his 85% contact rate and .308 BABIP suggest his hit tool isn't a fluke. Perez is a rock behind the plate who seems much older than the 27 it says on his baseball card. Perhaps it's all those innings he plays every season, the same quality that endears him to fantasy owners. Perez set a career high for homers, 27, last year, as he's done in every season since he reached the majors. He's still a top 8 fantasy catcher, but with a lesser surrounding cast he may have already reached his statistical peak. Duffy had minor elbow surgery in October and is expected to be fine for spring training. But are elbow surgeries ever minor? Those issues may have contributed to worse strikeout and walk rates from 2016, plus a 2 mph reduction in average fastball velocity. Sleepers of Jorge Bonifacio of Jorge Soler. Unfortunately, fantasy owners don't get 2 Georges for the price of one. Bonifacio, 24, has shown some decent power and hit 17 homers in 113 games with KC. Unfortunately, Kauffman Stadium is one of the worst parks for hitting home runs. Soler has the raw power to overcome his home environment, but he has trouble making consistent contact. 33% strikeout rate. He did show some promise when he was with the Chicago Cubs, and he did hit 24 homers last year in the minors. Perhaps he can flip the switch at age 25. Bullpen closer, Kelvin Herrera next. Brandon Moore. Herrera just wasn't the same pitcher last season we saw from 2014-16. He was much more hittable, strikeouts were down and his walk rate doubled from the previous year. He ended up losing the closer's job in September, but will have it back this spring. Moore was 20-for-23 in save chances with the Padres before being traded to Kansas City, but his overall numbers, 6.52 ERA, 1.55 WHIP, were even worse than Herrera's. If it's any consolation, his FIP was a more tolerable 3.96 due in part to a .375 BABIP. Position battles. The Royals would have more position battles if they upgraded their bench. Otherwise, Cheslor Cuthbert and Raul Mondesi will inherit the starting jobs at third base and shortstop, while Brandon Moss takes over for Hosmer at first. Paulo Orlando replaces Cain in center field. Prospects of Hunter Dozier after he made his MLB debut in 2016. Injuries cost Dozier almost all of last season. The 2013 first-rounder was one of the organization's top prospects, but he's now 26 and in the mix for a bench spot. Sorry to say, this may be one of the worst farm systems in the game, so don't look for much help from the minors this season. The best prospects are extremely young and playing at the lower levels. Projected batting order 1. 2B Whit Merrifield 2. LF Alex Gordon 3. C Salvador Perez 4. 1B Brandon Moss 5. RF Jorge Bonifacio 6. DH Jorge Soler 7. 3B Chesler Cuthbert 8. CF Paulo Orlando 9. SS Raul Mundesi projected rotation 1. LHP Danny Duffy 2. RHP Ian Kennedy 3. RHP Jason Hamill 4. RHP Jake Junis 5. RHP Nate Carnes